All right, guys, welcome to Flav Oriana's MMA show. I'm your host, Flav Oriana, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so this is the UFC 259 prediction show, all right, where I'm going to tell you who's most likely going to end up winning, who's going to be your loser, and how, all right? So I'm going to kick it off with the main card. So the main card obviously has three title fights. It has Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion of the world, against Jan Blachowicz, the light heavyweight champion of the world. Them two are going to clash together. Winner is going to walk out with the light heavyweight title. Jan Blachowicz, this is going to be his first title defense. And in Israel Adesanya, he's moving up to 205 to challenge Jan Blachowicz. In the co-main event, we have Amanda Nunes. She's going to be taking in the Aussie herself, Megan Anderson at the featherweight bout. Both females are fighting at 145. Amanda Nunes she's the only fighter in UFC history to have two belts simultaneously and have defended them while holding on to both of them. And this should be a tough challenge for Megan Anderson. And our third fight is going to be Peter Yan. He's making his first title defense at the bantamweight. He's going to try to defend his bantamweight title against New York's own Aljamain Sterling. In my opinion, I'll tell you what I really think about it, but I'll get to that fight in just a second. Second fight of the card is going to be Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober. I think a lot of people are really sleeping on this fight, but these people really need to look for this fight. Pay attention to this fight because this is going to be very big for the 155 division. And the opener, the starter of the card, Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakic. Oof, that's going to be crazy. It's another important fight at light heavyweight. But why don't we kick this off? So we'll kick it off with the opener, Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakic. So a lot's at stake right here because the reason why I say this is because of the fact that Thiago Santos, all right, he's going into this fight on a 2-fight losing streak. All right, and I do like Thiago a lot. You know, this guy is a great fighter. All right, he has a lot of potential. I personally had felt that he had the ability to beat Glover Teixeira, but Glover Teixeira is on a roll. He is on a mission to capture that light heavyweight championship, and he ended up losing to him. I had a feeling that he was going to end up losing to John Jones, but that was also a very questionable. I mean, look. John Jones is John Jones, and that is the GOAT right there. I feel like if you're going to beat somebody like him, you have to knock him out or make him tap out. And leaving it up to the judges' scorecard, they were more than likely going to favor John Jones. But you saw how John Jones had to be carried out by his brothers. And Thiago Santos, I give him a lot of credit in that fight because this guy tore everything up on that knee. All right, ACL, PCL, LCL. MCO, you name it. This guy was just walking around with one leg, and wow, I give him a lot of credit. But it's a very important fight for Thiago Santos. He's going to be facing a guy in the name of Alexander Rakic, who is a big deal. He's a big deal. This guy looked phenomenal. And in 2 of the last 3 fights, he has won. He has beaten Jimmy Manoa, and he also has beaten Anthony Smith. Lost to Volkan Oldesmere. If I know I'm butchering his name a little bit, but wow, what he did in his victories, I mean, he looks pretty impressive right there. And I don't know, I believe this is gonna be the dark horse fight on this main card, just because of the fact that this main card is pretty stacked. You got 3 title fights plus Drew Dober and Islam Makhachev, and then you're adding on Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakic. Oh my, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who. I have an idea on who's going to end up winning, and here's this. I personally do feel that if Alexander Rakic is going to be able to apply tons of pressure towards Thiago Santos, right, then he might be fighting in Thiago's level of play, where he wants to be comfortable. He's going to be able to strike with you. Both guys are strikers. Both guys are going to keep it on the feet. I don't really think this is going to be heavily going onto the ground unless it's going to be in the form of a ground and pound. I got Thiago Santos winning this fight in the second round by TKO. I think Rakic is a really good prospect. I think the UFC wants to push him. This guy has a lot of potential. I think Rakic might be able to suit best against somebody of a Glover Teixeira. I know he beat Anthony Smith. I think Thiago Santos, after him getting that loss, him getting his bearings together after being out of the octagon for over a year, trying to recover from injury, I think we're going to see a very much improved Thiago Santos. I don't know if you guys saw UFC Countdown, him in the background while Amanda Nunes was being featured. He looked pretty impressive right there, but that is also training. But I give Thiago Santos a victory by TKO in the second round. Next, Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober. Now, many people do not know who Drew Dober is. Drew Dober is a phenomenal 155er. He trains with Justin Gaethje, all right? Those guys up there in Denver, Colorado, they're animals. They're animals up there. And I mean that in the best way possible, because Drew Dober is nobody to sleep on. But Islam Makhachev, I mean, Khabib Nurmagomedov does really speak about this guy very highly, and this guy can definitely strike. I mean, this guy has amazing wrestling. This guy can, if he has to fight and he has to be on his feet, he could strike with the majority of people. Does he have knockout power like Drew Dober? No, he does not, but he will wear you down. And the one thing I do like about Islam Makhachev is that he's able to change levels. His jab, his striking he can use that to change levels to go for the takedown and then keep you pinned down there. Because once he has you, you're not going to get up at all. So with that being said, I do have Islam Makhachev winning by decision. All right, I'm going to say unanimous decision. I think he wins 2-1. I think I'm going to give Dober 1 round, but I think Makhachev dominates 2 out of the 3 rounds. Next is Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. All right, this fight, I tell you that I've been waiting for this fight for such a long time. Man, Aljo's my guy. And Peter Yan, he looked really impressive, facing Jose Aldo. But Peter Yan had an interview with Ariel Helwani on his podcast, and he says that Aljo is gonna try to go for the takedown or scramble, run around like a mouse. And I thought that was kind of funny because of the fact that I gotta say, he's not wrong in that. Aljamain is gonna try to take him down, and I believe if this goes down to the floor, I do feel that Peter Yan is gonna have flashbacks of when he had lost to Magomedov, but I really wonder how is he gonna be able to handle this guy's wrestling, and is he gonna be able to stuff enough takedowns? Just because if Aljo's going to be exerting energy and trying to take him down, and they get stuffed, then that's going to play a mind trick into Aljamain Sterling. But I do believe Aljamain Sterling is going to be able to change levels. He's going to be able to, set up his kicks, set up his punches for a takedown, and then bring him down. I have Aljo winning this fight in the 4th round by submission. All right, I think Peter Yan, he's going to be a little bit frustrated. And when you get frustrated, you start making mistakes. And when you start making mistakes, then it's going to be game over for you. I believe that the fact that this is a very heated rivalry between these two, I think Peter Yan's going to really rely too much on his boxing, right? And he's going to try to I believe that once the pressure wears off, the pressure is not going to affect Aljamain Sterling. I think Aljo's going to, set up a high kick, shoot for a takedown, and then set up for a submission, whether it's a rear naked chokehold, an armbar, or whatever. I think he's going to force Peter Yan to tap out. Next, Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson in the co-main event for the featherweight title. Amanda Nunes is considered the GOAT. I consider her the GOAT. I believe it's Amanda Nunes, then Valentina Shevchenko as the 2 greatest, women mixed martial artists that's out there right now. I have Valentina over Cyborg, over Ronda Rousey, right? Because I certainly do feel that Ronda Rousey would not be able to compete with these women currently that's going on right now. But with that being said, Megan Anderson is no slouch whatsoever. I feel like a lot of people are taking her for granted, all right? I think they're not giving her a chance at all, because I do think that Megan Anderson does have a chance. But do I feel like she's going to be able to come out as the victor this Saturday? No, I do not. I don't think that Megan Anderson is going to be able to win. I think that Amanda is very well trained. I think she's gonna be able to close distance. I think she's gonna be able to chop at the legs and then set up, with the overhand punch. I think her boxing is too crisp. I think her kickboxing is really good for Amanda Nunes. I think Megan Anderson, the only way that she's able to win this fight is she's able to hit Amanda's lead leg and then forcing her to switch stance and making her be against the cage. If Megan Anderson is able to do that type of stuff, then I do feel like she has a greater possibility of winning the fight. But until then, I'm going to have to give it to Amanda Nunes. I think Amanda wins this fight in the second round by TKO. I don't think it's by knockout. I think whoever the ref is going to be involved in that match, I think he's going to step in and stop the fight. And I think the featherweight division might end up dying that night, because I think after that, Amanda Nunes is going to go back to 135, have one more fight, and then call it quits. Unless then the UFC, is really trying to go after a part 3 with Valentina versus Amanda Nunes. Until then, I see Amanda fighting one more time and then retiring. Next is the final fight of the card. Israel Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz, all right? Champion versus champion. Who's going to end up winning this fight? Well, I do feel like this is something that's not really well talked about, is Jan Blachowicz. I think the media itself is mainly focusing on Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya had an interview with Ariel Helwani saying that he's most likely going to end up weighing in around 200 pounds, 195 pounds. And by fight day, he might weigh around 195, but Jan Blachowicz might weigh around like 220. So you see that discrepancy right there. I don't think it's going to really affect Israel Adesanya way too much, because of the fact that Israel Adesanya isn't going to really depend on his speed. And his whole tactic is, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to pull back. Sort of like a Floyd Mayweather type of, fighting style, right? Well, he's going to try to kick the leg, go back, kick the leg, go back. He's trying to hit the target without trying to be hit, right? And I do feel like that might create some type of problems for Jan Blachowicz. I feel like Jan Blachowicz is going to be, at some point in the fight, he's going to make a mistake, and then it's going to lead to Israel Adesanya using his spectacular striking, right? Whether it's going to be, a 1-2 punch combination, or it's going to be a 1-2 punch combination with a high kick that's going to drop Jan down. And then I think Israel Adesanya is going to walk out as the light heavyweight champion. I give it, in round 3. Round 3, he's going to break down Jan, and the legendary Polish power is not going to be able to do anything about it. I think rounds 1 through 2 is going to be very, tactical, very, very technical. Round 3, I think Jan Blachowicz is going to make a major mistake, setting up for what would be, a loss to Israel Adesanya. But that's my take, guys, for UFC 259. That's my predictions. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm right, if I'm wrong. Put it in the comment section below. All right. And guys, this is a great card. I hope to see you guys watch it. And let me know what you guys think about it. All right. Till then, peace.